I don't know what's going on. Horses. They took off running up through here. I thought they was going to bust the gate, bust the fencing down. Look at them. One of them ran into the barn. And them two's acting like, oh, what the heck's going on here? Hey, what's the matter with you guys? What's wrong? What in the heck? I ain't never seen them act like that. What in the world? Oh. Wow. I'm not sure what's going on here. Hey! Whoa! Maybe they're just, I don't know. They're all acting like a bunch of crazy. Wow! Yeah, you better slow down. Y'all are acting crazy. Not sure what's going on. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that's around. Huh. Well, I don't know. They're all boys. None of them's girls. But that... Wow, that's craziness. I ain't never seen them act like that. Ever. They look like they're gonna fight. Well, I was going down here to cut me some asparagus. And I came out here and they were all acting like this. I'm not sure what the problem is here. I don't see anything. I don't see any, you know, like dogs of any kind, like a coyote or anything, or a bear. One time we thought we had a bear here and they acted like this. I don't hear anything or see anything. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't know what's going on with these horses, but man, they're acting like they're on fire or something.
Really?
I don't know what's going on with them. I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. They're settling down a little bit now, but Ringo, he was running around so fast he fell down. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is clean some strawberries, and you want to wash your strawberries really well. I got these strawberries at Farmer's Market last Saturday, and they look really nice. I want to go out and pick some, but the strawberries in the fields, I don't know where these strawberries came from, but I know the strawberries around here are just starting to get ripe, starting to ripen up this week. So, I'm not sure where these came from. But anyway, you just want to cut the ends off and cut the bad spots out if there's any bad spots. And then I'm just going to cut it up into maybe about fourths. These are kind of big, so I want these to be about the size of the rhubarb, because the rhubarb is going to take a little bit longer to cook. So I want these a little bit bigger, and I'm going to want the rhubarb a little bit smaller because it's a harder fruit than the strawberries. I got them stuck in some water here. So I want these strawberries to not cook all to pieces, so I'm going to keep them a little bit bigger than what I'm going to keep the rhubarb at. So maybe just cut it in fourths and then cut it across the middle. And that should work out pretty good. I'm going to take these out and use my measuring cup here. So I want 2 cups of strawberries and 2 cups of rhubarb. This will make a 9-inch pan. I mean a 9-inch pie. Maybe the smaller ones, we'll just cut them in half once and then in the middle like that. That one's a little big. So I'm just going to cut up these strawberries, and I'll get back with you when we start on the rhubarb. Okay, we got all the strawberry cut up, and I had over 4 cups of strawberry, but I'm only going to use 2 cups of this for our pie. We're going to cut up the rhubarb, so you want to wash it really well too. And cut off the end. Cut off this part, because remember I told you you can't eat the greens. Want to wash that up. And rhubarb comes in 2 different colors. I mean, it's green. They just get a red when they, been out there for a while. But the green ones, they're good too. So you can use either one. They just get redder the longer they're out there on the stalk. I'm just going to continue to clean these up some. See, they're kind of like celery. I like when I make certain things that I make. See, they got it's kind of like celery. I kind of like to take that part off. A lot of people don't do that when they're making the rhubarb pie or making things with rhubarb, but I don't like that that part of it when you're eating a piece of pie, because it just makes it stringy, and I don't like that. So I usually take all that off of mine before I make my pies. That's up to you whether you want to do that or not. Alright, we'll get back with you when I get this done. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix our dry ingredients. So first thing we want to do is get some 1/3 cup of flour. And 1 cup of sugar. set it to the side. Now we're going to measure out 1 cup of strawberries. Two cups of strawberries. You can add a little bit more to this if you want to. That's up to you. 2 cups of strawberries. And we're going to cut up our rhubarb. And I did get most of the strings off of this. Might be a few left. Cut out that little bad spot there. I'm going to cut these up in little chunks about that big. About, I guess, maybe a ½ an inch or so. Because I don't want them to be too small and turn to mush, but I don't want them to be too big where they don't cook as fast as the strawberries. So we'll do about ½ an inch. And it doesn't have to be exact. Just cut them up the size you want, but just remember that they take a little bit longer to cook than the strawberries. And we want 2 cups of this. There's 1 cup. So yesterday when I was out going to pick this out of the garden, well, it's not really a garden anymore because it's taken over by weeds, but I had this down there in the where the garden used to be. And when I went outside, I have a video I'm going to attach to this for you to see the horses. I don't know what in the world was wrong with them yesterday, but they were just carried on like, I don't know. And running around, and I had never seen them do that before, and it kind of scared me a little bit, but I kept thinking, they're going to run through the fence, they're going to run through the fence, but they didn't. They stopped themselves in time, but still, it was not sure what was going on, and it was like they thought something had scared them, like they weren't just, I don't think they were playing or just running to be running. It was like they were afraid of something. So I know a few years back, when Applejack was with us, he, oh, I don't know if I told you all that Applejack died. He died, and we buried him up there with the other horses that had died, and that was a pretty sad day. But anyway, Applejack had seen a bear down there, and at least that's what I think. But one day I was walking down through the field to go be with him, just to walk around with him and spend some time with him and stuff, and he was way down in the field, which usually when he sees one of us coming up towards the fence, he runs up to the fence to greet us. Well, he didn't that time. He just kept staring off into the woods. And I kept hollering for him, Applejack, what are you doing? Come on up here. And he wouldn't. And so I started to walk down towards him. And when I started to walk down towards him, he took off running at me like he was charging me, and he had never done that before. Applejack just wasn't that kind of horse. He was a sweet horse. But anyway, and I said, Applejack, what are you doing? And you know, I got out of the way because he didn't look like he's going to stop. So I got on the other side of the fence, out of the pasture, and so as soon as he got up there and I moved out of the pasture, he ran back down to the field, and he was standing there staring, and so I said, well, you know, I wanted to walk back down there. So I thought, well, you know, I don't know why he's acting like that, but he'll be okay. So I started to go down there again. He did it again. He came charging at me, and I got out of the fence. And at that point, I just like, well, I don't know what's wrong with him. I just went on up to the house. But I think there was a bear, because somebody had told me that they had seen a bear in the area. So I'm wondering if that's what it was. But then yesterday, the other horses started acting, running around. Anyway, I got a video on that. So I don't know what was wrong with them, but it kind of scared me yesterday. All right, so here's, let me fix this thing. All right, so here's the other cup of asparagus. I'm just going to cut this little piece up. I've got a little pieces here. I don't want to waste them, so I'm just going to put them in there too. It ain't going to hurt nothing. Matter of fact, I might put the rest of the other one in there too. I only got this much left. There ain't no point in doing anything with that, so I'll just put it in there with it. A little spot there I don't like. It's got a string on it. Don't like that either. Okay. So anyway, I do have some video for you all to see of that when I went out to film yesterday. And I said I was going down to get some asparagus, and I wasn't. I was going down to get some of this here rhubarb, but I said the wrong thing. But I'm going to attach that onto this so you can see them. Well, I must not have peeled that one very well. Okay. Okay, let's start over with this. Yeah, I don't think I peeled that one, but did you see how stringy it was when I went to cut it? I don't like all those strings. Okay, we'll just put that in. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Just make the pie fuller. Oh, you're crooked. Looks like it's crooked here. There, that's a little bit better. All right, let's move this out of the way. And we're gonna bring this over here. And we're going to dump this in here. This should make a pretty filled pie, I would say. You just mix it all up. You got to put flour in it though, because all this fruit, you know how strawberries, they make a lot of juice when you cook them. And so the flour, when you put the flour in it, that's what thickens your pie. Otherwise, you'll just have a soupy pie. It'll be, you know, like a little soupy, not. And rhubarb pie is already kind of a loose pie. It's not real thick like an apple pie would be. So this is a little bit runny or anyway. So just mix all that up really good. And we're going to let this sit here for a little while we get the crust rolled out. But see how it mixed, and it's, see that, it's real juicy, so it needs that flour to thicken it. All right, let me get my crust stuff ready. All right. I keep my pastry sheet rolled up in a piece of dish towel or something like that, just to help keep it from getting dusty. Okay, so I already have my crust made. Let me see if I can fix this a little bit better. There. I already have my crust made, and I'll try to link the crust recipe down below. Get a little bit of flour in case I need it. This is going to be a 9-inch pan, 9-inch pie pan. Okay. You don't put some flour on your rolling pin, pie crust sticks to it. So I made this pie crust this morning. It's been sitting in the refrigerator, so. I think I'm gonna cut a little piece of this off because I think I want to put some pieces across the top. I think this will roll out into a 9-inch pie pan. Just gonna cut a piece of that off. Shape it back into a round disc as best that you can. I've made a lot of pies in my life. I was the pie lady at the farmer's market for a few years, a couple years. I made 30 pies a day. Not a day. I made 30 pies a week and sold them at the farmer's market. And that was while I was working a full-time job. That was quite the task. Okay. I think this will work. I think it's big enough. Let's get it over where you can see. All right, there. Let's slide down in there. Okay, so we're just gonna let that slide down in there. I'm gonna take a little piece of this off and put it over there. Fill in that little hole. Okay. Maybe take a little piece of this off. Put it over here. Okay. I'm going to take a fork and I'm just going to poke some holes in it. So it won't make a big air bubble on the bottom of your pie. Okay. Let me go ahead and roll this other piece out. I'm going to use it for the top. just going to make it into a rectangle shape because I just need, I'm going to cut slices off, cut strips off on that one. Oops. Set that right over there for now. All right. Filling and put in here. This is what it looks like, and you can see that there's quite a bit of juice in there. Oops. Here, now you can see there's quite a bit of juice in it. If you've never had rhubarb pie, strawberry rhubarb pie, rhubarb is a very tart fruit. They used to call it a vegetable, but I think it's considered a fruit now since people use it mostly for sweet things, pies and such. Okay. I'm just going to cut out some strips and lay them across there. Try to piece this back together a little bit. I'm not sure that that's quite long enough. Let me see if I can make it a little bit longer. Reach the other side of the pie. There, that might work now. You can use a knife or you can use a little decorative cutter. I'm just going to twist it and put it across the top. Okay, put one more on here maybe. Scoot this one over a little bit. All right, now I'm just going to turn it under. Turn all the edges under. Like that. Turn all the edges under, including the little strips. That way when you turn them under, it fastens the little strips down underneath your pie. And plus it makes them look nice. So you just do it like that. Just Just make sure you leave enough rim to do your fancy work around the edges. Okay. Now, there's all kinds of ways to do the edges, and you just have to pick the one that works best for you. So I just kind of do it like that and pinch it. I just kind of pinch it like that. Push that in there and pinch it like that. That's how I do it, but you do it your way. This is a pretty big pie. All right. Almost there. You can take a fork and go around the edges too if you want to, and just mash a fork imprint in them, and that looks pretty too. All right, let me get an egg and do an egg wash on it. Okay, so I just got an egg yolk here. Just gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm just gonna do a little egg wash on it. It makes it brown up and gives it a little gloss. Plus I want to put my sugar around the edge, and that helps hold the sugar on. Yeah, I did pretty good farmer's market when I sold these pies. I sold all kinds of pies. I tried to do pies that were, you know, whatever the fruit was in the season. That's most of the pies that I had. I always had different kinds of pies, but I always tried to make pies when the fruit was in season. I'm dropping egg everywhere. Yuck. Okay. So here's the, okay, that's about done. Alright, so here's the sugar that I'm going to use. I use this coarse sugar. I just kind of hold my hand over it so it catches it. If not, it goes everywhere. I got my oven warming up. I've got it on 400. Isn't that pretty? And this little bit of extra sugar on it will help the rhubarb not be so tart. But there it is. And we're going to put it in the oven now, and we're going to let it bake for, well, you know what, I'm going to put the oven on 425 and let it bake for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it down to 350 and cook it for 30 more minutes. All right, so I'll be back when this pie finishes cooking. Okay, so here it is out of the oven. It looks like it's set up pretty good. It's still pretty warm. I let it cool for a little while, but it's still right warm. Let's see here. Which way should I cut this thing? Maybe cut it this way. It's a loose pie. It's not a thick pie, so it's kind of runny. But the crust looks good. It's kind of hot still. Probably if you let it cool all the way, it'd set up a little bit better. Let's see what it tastes like. The crust turned out really nice. You crook it. There. Alright, let's see. The bottom crust cooked nice. It's pretty hot. It tastes sweet and tart. Crust's cooked really nice. It's not soggy or anything. It's nice and crisp. Holds together nice. It's really good. You see that little sugar on that crust back there? On the back crust? It's really tasty. And the fruit didn't get all mushy, which that's what I was hoping for. The strawberries didn't get real mushy. These are nice and tender. The rhubarb's nice and tender. Here's the bottom of here's what the crust bottom looks like. So we got nice and brown. And it is good. Really good. And it's a pretty pie too. Smash the like button, and I invite you to come and see my videos. I upload once a week, and hit subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Bye.